In this video, we are going to do a complete strut assembly installation for a Ford Expedition for the 2007 through 2013 year models. Here are the parts needed for this vehicle. It is typically a good idea to replace these parts after 80 to 120,000 miles and when you hear creaking noises and experience excessive bouncing in your suspension. Shocks and struts should be replaced in pairs. Even if only one has gone bad, the weight of the vehicle will compress the shock over time. If only one is replaced, the vehicle will not sit level. Additionally, the second one will probably go bad shortly after replacing the first one. Here are the tools that you may need for this suspension job. It is recommended to use a torque wrench for proper torquing of bolts, ensuring a safe repair. Proper torque values are available in the vehicle's service manual. We'll also provide the values needed for this repair later in the video. Once the vehicle is raised to where you can work on it, remove the wheels and inspect all the components of the wheel area for any other damages other than just the suspension. Now, go ahead and spray some penetrating oil on the bolts to help aid in getting them loose. Use a 15mm wrench to remove the bolts from the top of the strut. Use a 30mm socket and wrench to remove the bottom mounting bolt. Carefully use a hammer to knock out the bolt from the bottom mount. Use a 21mm socket on the ball joint. Apply some penetrating oil to help loosen things up. A little hit with a pry bar and hammer should knock that connection loose. Use a 21mm socket on that tie rod end. Now we can use that pry bar and hammer on the tie rod to knock it loose. Using the pry bar, pry out the bottom of the strut assembly and slide it right out. For good measure, we lay the old and new struts side by side to make sure we have a good comparison to assure the part will fit correctly. If everything matches up, then insert the new strut assembly into place and begin putting it all back together. We'll torque the top mounting bolts to 30 foot-pounds. We are using an electronic torque wrench here. This allows us to dial in the proper torque value, and when the red light indicator turns green and it beeps, that means the torque value has been reached. Use the pry bar to help push the ball joint together as you screw the nut on. Apply 85 foot-pounds of torque to the ball joint. The tie rod end will get 111 foot-pounds of torque. We'll apply 295 foot-pounds of torque on the bottom mounting bolt. The rear struts will use a 15mm wrench to loosen the top bolts. Use a 27mm socket on the bottom mounting bolt. It is helpful to use a hammer to knock the bolt out of the hole. Now, free up the last of the top mounting bolts. Dropping the control arm helps in removing the strut. Pull out the old strut and put in the new one, then begin putting it all back together. It is helpful to have another set of hands available to aid in getting things back together. Ask a helper to give a hand with some of the more difficult areas to do by yourself. Apply 406 foot-pounds for the rear bottom mounts. .30 foot-pounds of torque for the top mounting bolts. Before you're all done, double-check all your work to make sure nothing was left out. Replace the wheels and torque the lug nuts to 150 foot-pounds. After the new shocks are all properly installed, and take a road test. We recommend getting a wheel alignment after the work has been completed. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and give us a like, and visit our other social media outlets.